The Rape of the Lock. Canto 5. Alexander Pope, she said. The pitying audience melt in tears, but fate and Jove had stopped the baron's ears. In vain Thalestris with reproach assails, for who can move when fair Belinda fails? Not half so fixed the Trojan could remain, while Anna begged and Dido ragged in vain. Then grave Clarissa graceful waved her fan. Silence ensued, and thus the nymph began. Ampersand quo. Say, why are beauties praised and honored most, the wise man's passion, and the vain man's toast? Why decked with all that land and sea effort, why angels called, and angel-like adored? Why round our coaches crowd the white-gloved beau, why bows the side box from its inmost rows? How vain are all these glories, all our pains, unless good sense preserve what beauty gains, that men may say, when we the front box grace, behold the first in virtue, as in face. Oh, if to dance all night, and dress all day, charmed the smallpox, or trust old age away. Who would not scorn what housewife's cares produce, or who would learn one earthly thing of use? To patch, nay ogle, might become a saint, nor could it sure be such a sin to paint. But since, alas, frail beauty must decay, curled or uncurled, since locks will turn to gray, since painted, or not painted, all shall fade, and she who scorns a man, must die a maid. What then remains but well our pal single quotard to use, and keep good humor still whate'er we lose? And trust me, dear, good humor can prevail, when airs, and flights, and screams, and scolding fail. Beauties in vain their pretty eyes may roll. Charms strike the sight, but merit wins the soul. Ampersand quo. So spoke the dame, but no applause ensued. Belinda frowned, Thalestris called her prude. Ampersand quo. To arms, to arms. Ampersand quo. The fierce virago cries, and swift as lightning to the combat flies. All side in parties, and begin this attack. Fans clap, silks rustle, and tough her libbons crack. Heroes and heroines shouts confusedly rise, and bass, and treble voices strike the skies. No common weapons in their hands are found, like gods they fight, nor dread a mortal wound. So when bold Homer makes the gods engage, and heavenly breasts with human passions rage, gainst Pallas, Mars, Latona, Hermes arms, and all Olympus rings with loud alarms. Jove's thunder roars, heaven trembles all around. Blue Neptune storms, the bellowing deeps resound. Earth shakes her nodding toe single quotares, the ground gives way, and the pale ghosts start at the flash of day. Triumphant Umbriel on a sconce's height clapped his glad wings, and sate to view the fight. Propped on their bodkin spears, the sprites survey the growing combat, or assist the fray. While through the press enragged Thalestris flies, and scatters death around from both her eyes, a bow and whittling perished in the throng, one died in metaphor, and one in song. Ampersand quo. O cruel nymph! A living death I bear, Ampersand quo! Cried Dapperwit, and sunk beside his chair. A mournful glance surf uppling upwards cast, Ampersand quo! Those eyes are made so killing, and quo was his last. Thus on meanders flow remargin lies this expiring swan, and as he sings he dies. When bold Sir Plume had drawn Clarissa down, Chloe stepped in, and killed him with a frown. She smiled to see the doughty hero slain, but at her smile, the bow revived again. Now Jove suspends his golden scales in air, weighs the men's wits against the lady's hair. The doubtful beam long nods from side to side. At length the wits mount up, the hairs subside. See, fierce Belinda on the baron flies, with more than usual lightning in her eyes, nor feared the chief this unequal fight to try, who sought no more than on his foe to die. But this bold lord with manly strength endued, she with one finger and a thumb subdued, just where the breath of life his nostrils drew, a charge of snuff the wily virgin threw. The gnomes direct, to every atom just, the pungent grains of titillating dust. Sudden, with starting tears each eye o'erflows, and the high dome re-echoes to his nose. Ampersand quo. Now meet thy fate, and quo. Enchanced Belinda cried, and drew a deadly bodkin from her side. The same, his ancient personage to deck, her great-great-grandsire wore about his neck in 3 seal rings, which after, melted down, formed a vast buckle for his widow's gown. Her infant grandam's whistle next it grew, the bells she jingled, and the whistle blew. Then in a buckin cracked her mother's hairs, which long she wore, and now Belinda wears. Ampersand quo! Boast not my fall, ampersand quo! He cried, ampersand quo! Insulting foe! Thou by some other shalt be laid as low. Nor think, to die dejects my lofty mind. All that I dread is leaving you behind. Rather than so, I'll let me still survive, and burn in Cupid's flames but burn alive. Ampersand quo! Ampersand quo! Restore the lock. Ampersand quo! She cries. And all around ampersand quo! Restore the lock. Ampersand quo! The vaulted roofs rebound. Not fierce Othello in so loud a strain roared for the handkerchief that cowsed his pain. But see how oft ambitious aims are crossed, the chiefs contend till all the prize is lost. The lock, obtained with guilt, and kept with pain, in every place is sought, but sought in vain. With such a prize no mortal must be blessed, so heaven decrees. With heaven who can contest? Some thought it mounted to the lunar sphere, since all things lost on earth are treasured there. Their heroes' wits are kept in ponderous vases, and bow snuff boxes and tweezercases. Their broken vows and deathbed alms are found, and lovers' hearts with ends of riband bound. The courtier's promises, and sick man's prayers, the smiles of harlots, and the tears of heirs, cages for gnats, and chains to yoke a flea, dried butterflies, and tomes of casuistry. But trust the muse, she saw it upward rise, though marked by none but quick, poetic eyes. So Rome's great founder to the heave single quotenes withdrew, to Proculus alone confessed in view. A sudden star, it shot through liquid air, and drew behind a radiant trail of hair. Not Berenice's locks first rose so bright, the heave single quotenes bespangling with disheveled light. The sylphs behold it kindling as it flies, and pleased pursue its progress through the skies. This the bowman shall from them all survey, and hail with music its propitious ray. This the blessed lover shall for Venus take, and send up vows from Rosamunda's lake. This partridge soon shall view in cloudless skies, when next he looks through Galileo's eyes. And hence this egregious wizard shall foredoom the fate of Louis, and the fall of Rome. Then cease, bright nymph, to mourn thy ravished hair, which adds new glory to the shining sphere. Not all the tresses that fair head can boast shall draw such envy as the lock you lost. For, after all the murders of your eye, when, after millions slain, yourself shall die, when those fair suns shall set, as set they must, and all those tresses shall be laid in dust, this lock, the muse shall consecrate to fame, and midst the stars inscribe Belinda's name.